Pero laban.
Okay, so yeah, both these players are gonna. This is the first match we're gonna be streaming
For
for Top Cut. This is round 1 of Top Cut. So yeah. What do you think of these teams, me?
Well, I think they're the common meta teams that I've seen so far. But both, of course, have Charizard and the Garchomp. So, interested to see how this plays out.
So Arveen will be leading with the Aegislash and the Sinistra here, but the Garchomp and the Basculegion on the John side, it's looking a lot like the Sinistra wants to use Rage Powder here, but at the same time, this Aegislash, well, Aegislash does Aegislash things. I actually want to. Sorry, I'm just checking something here. Okay.
So yeah, Aegislash with that focus sash.
So Arveen on the other, Arveen does have a focus sash on his Aegislash. He's just able to survive whatever comes at him. But Poltergeist here, we did see that move not really succeed earlier, but when it succeeds, it does succeed. Arveen successfully sets up Trick Room with the Sinistra here. Now, we do see that Dejan's Garchomp looks to be. Oh, right. Dejan's Garchomp looks to be kind of bulky, so that's an interesting little development there. On the other hand, this Charizard it also looks kind of bulky considering it survived that pretty easily, the Poltergeist, and it's still a pretty chunky amount of health. The Sinistra on a Beenz side will be switching out for the Garchomp here, while the Charizard protects itself. And yeah, this Aegislash is just using everyone's items to its advantage. Earthquake will be coming from Dejan's Garchomp here, hitting everything around it except for his own teammate. He knocks out the Aegislash on a Beenz side, and does a pretty good amount of damage on a Beenz Garchomp. Look at the size discrepancy of these Garchomps, though.
It's a big Garchomp.
Yeah, so this does prompt that the Floette come out from a Beenz side, but we have to take note, Trick Room is up.
Yeah.
And a Beenz Garchomp might be faster than Dejan's Garchomp, actually, just because of the values we do see here on stream. The Sinistra will be coming in to sub out for that Garchomp on a Beenz side, and Dejan will be Mega Evolving his Charizard here into Charizard Y, because of course it does, it's Charizard Y, it brings in the sun with that drought. But Beenz like, yeah, no, I'm also gonna Mega Evolve. Goes for the Mega Evolution on his Eternal Flower Floette there. And yeah, this could go either way. Charizard hits them both with Heat Wave, takes out the Sinistra. Now the question is, will the follow-up from the Garchomp be enough? Yeah, we did see that the Garchomp is slower than the Charizard. And yeah, the Garchomp just manages to eke out another KO with that Earthquake. There's a double KO there on a Beenz side of the field. Just got wrecked there. But yeah, this Garchomp, very little Garchomp. And yeah, Arveen will be forfeiting game 1 there. Pretty quick game 1. all the turns of Trick Room did not expire.
Very interesting.
Right.
Again, we see how that Charizard is just crazy though. But then again, both players here have Charizards.
Yeah, but well, they're both using Charizard Y on both their Charizards with the exact same movesets actually, so we don't have to think about that too much. The big difference here is between the Garchomps. A Beenz Garchomp is Choice Scarf while Dejan's Garchomp is Soft Sand. We also saw that his Garchomp is slower than the Charizard. So we have enough reason to believe that this Garchomp may be adamant, bulky adamant. So it's gonna be doing a lot more damage while being able to dish out rather more damage. On the other hand, we have a Been with this Incineroar. Incineroar is not making too much of an appearance in the latest tournaments. I guess too many Sneaslers all around. Crazy. So speed control is very different for both teams. A Been would want to use Trick Room here as soon as possible. But, well, Dejan's team is just... He does have Tailwind. Yeah, both players just taking their time here. What do you think is the adjustment they're gonna make here?
So it seems like the Charizard was something that we have to look out for.
Been did not bring the Charizard in the last game. Maybe he will this time. He will be leading with a new lead here. Leading with the Incineroar. Did he lead the Garchomp in the previous game? Or was it the Sinistcha?
I remember the Sinistcha.
Right, but this time it's the
And the
Incineroar.
Aegislash.
Incineroar with the Aegislash. That Aegislash was just causing havoc last game. Playing around with everyone's items. But Incineroar is... I don't think I need to say too much. It's Incineroar. But Dejan will be using Spiky Shield here, protecting his own Glimora. Forcing that... Well, the Incineroar here on a Been side will be using Fake Out into the Garchomp on Dejan side. Getting rough-skinned in the process. Poltergeist doesn't miss into the Garchomp and whips it with its own soft sand. Deals a pretty substantial, yummy amount of damage actually. That is a lot.
Can you tell us, Vince, what Soft Sand does?
Soft Sand boosts the power of all ground moves, but then I'm not too sure if this Garchomp would like to use Earthquake this turn, considering Glimora is times 4 weak. And it just used Spiky Shield, so it's not exactly in a position to do that. But then if he switches into the Charizard, just like here, it will be able to use that Soft Sand to its full effect. Because, well, his teammate's now floating. But this Aegislash, on the other hand, yeah, it's not gonna appreciate getting hit really hard with this, especially Sword form. But again, doesn't matter all too much because he does survive because of the Focus Sash. I guess that was intentional. And again, this Aegislash is gonna be able to do anything it wants. Hits it with the Iron Head, just doesn't do all that much damage. Resisted into the Charizard.
I'm very interested to see how Beenz will be navigating this.
Yeah, I mean, Dejan protecting his Charizard here, trying to scout it out. Probably, yeah, okay, Wide Guard will be coming from the Aegislash as well. If Dejan uses Earthquake here, it probably won't matter. If he used Heat Wave, it probably also won't matter. But again, we know that the Garchomp on the Been side is Choice Scarf, so that was an amazing play actually. Instead of going for the Earthquake, went straight for the Dragon Claw. But it can't do all that much. The real question here is the Aegislash gonna go for another Wide Guard, or is it gonna go for anything else? I mean, it can go for another Wide Guard, it can go for a Shadow Sneak, but one thing's for sure, it does not have King's Shield. So Abeen will be withdrawing his Garchomp here, opting for a more defensive play, pulling out his Incineroar, allowing him to probably do a little more damage. later on with that Garchomp, preserving it for later. This Aegislash, however, I imagine it's gonna wanna Shadow Sneak here into anything. Oh, it goes for the Wide Guard. Wide Guard probably protecting against the Heat Wave, but Earth Power comes out anyway. Now the question is, did this Charizard go for the Heat Wave?
That was a question. Let's see.
And it does not go for the Heat Wave. Goes for Weather Ball. Does a pretty respectable amount of damage into an Incineroar of all things. Wow. I mean, it's been a while since we've seen Incineroar, but jeez, he just takes hits like... I imagine he just takes hits a lot better, but I don't know, maybe it's the regulation. But we see that a Been did not break his own Charizard. It is in fact the Floette this time. Again. Floette again. And this might be another uphill fight on a Beenz side, considering the Glimmora is also on Dejan's side. A single Sludge Bomb should be able to deal, well, it'll do pretty good damage into the Floette. And the follow-up to the Charizard should be enough to do, you know, do considerable damage there. But yeah, Incineroar still has Fake Out pressure here and uses it quite well into the Glimmora, but Toxic Spikes will be scattered all along a Beenz side. Moonblast, wow, that just did not do as much as we'd all thought, actually. Weather Ball will be coming from the Charizard into the Floette and takes out so much damage. What do you think about that?
Actually, my shoulders are pain.
Oh, I'm sorry. But yeah, the Johns is just, he's in a pretty good position right now. There is no Trick Room on a Beenz side, but I imagine he wouldn't want Trick Room up anyway because his Garchomp has a Choice Scarf. But there's really not much that can be done here. The Glimmora is in a really good position to just either Sludge Bomb or Power Gem in the Incineroar or the Floette. But the Floette will be using Moonblast into the Charizard here. Not enough damage. And yeah, like I said, Power Gem coming from the Glimmora just takes out the Incineroar. Yeah, the Glimmora is in a very tight position to just get away with so much. And yeah, the follow-up to the Charizard just takes out the Floette as well. This may be it. A Been can use Rock Tomb. The only spread move he has here is Earthquake, but you have to take into account he's poisoned. He'll be taking a lot of damage. 176, I believe that is 22 points of poison damage tick per turn. This Garchomp only has 2 turns. This one and the next. Provided the Charizard and Glimmora on the John side decide to do nothing, this Garchomp will still get KO'd at the very end of the next turn. But Dejan is a little merciful here, takes out a Beenz Charizard and wins him game 2.
Very interesting, as always.
Yeah. So,
Esburr has taken this match.
Yeah, Esburr games wins game 1 and 2. That was interesting. That was a lot interesting. Glimmora has really been making strides.